Well, welcome back to Hope Island, everyone. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day so far. My name is Leaf, and it's so great to be back on this humble little island with all of you. So, today we're actually doing a little bit of small work, a bunch of small things before we actually get into, the big bulk of what we have planned for Hope Island. So, today I have a bunch of, marine invertebrates and amphibians and reptiles that are just sitting happily in my little ZSU storage, and I really just want to take the time to actually build for these guys and give them some nice little habitats. So today we have a bunch of different animals. I do have to thank good old Seth for. He was able to trade these with me a while ago, and I figured, you know what, it's pretty much time for me to actually get these guys on display. So one of the first things I actually want to get displayed first were my moon jellyfish. I believe it's either moon jellyfish or common jellyfish. I genuinely forget. I actually do need to give a huge shout out to Drac for the original jellyfish over here. Yep, they're just common jellyfish. I just kind of dressed them up a little bit. So essentially what I did, I took Drac's blueprint and I kind of changed it around a little bit. I made sure that it fit what I was looking for just a little bit more. And I think it turned out pretty good in the end. We even decorate, the display for it a little bit. I think that turned out pretty cool, having that little streak of blue in there, and it worked out so well that I was able to sneak them on the top floor without the actual bottom of the habitat really poking out into any visible areas. So moving on through here, I have a lot more animals I really wanted to build for. So this one in particular, I forget what I'm building for first over here. Yes, I'm building for the poison dart frogs. So these were actually given to me by my good buddy Forge. Big shout out to Forge over there for lending me these guys. I really want to build for some poison dart frogs because they're wicked cool. In case if you guys have not heard yet, I recently got back from the National Zoo, and it was a really awesome experience. I was able to see so many different animals, especially some poison dart frogs, which was really amazing. They had hundreds upon hundreds of poison dart frogs, it seemed. So many different species, and I was able to see the species that we actually have in here. I forget what they're actually called. We'll check them out in a little bit. But I wanted to give them a little bit of a mixed exhibit, a nice natural looking one too. I have to give a huge shout out to Nick because of all of these pieces. The exhibit prop pack as well as the faux rock pack both came in extremely clutch over here, and it was just really awesome just to get these pieces all to work. And we're also doing a little bit of fixing on in here, just making sure that everything looks good in the end. I'm very happy with that. And then we actually move on to our tomato frogs. I actually bought these for Nick. In case if you guys don't know, in case the guys don't know what Nick is working on for ZSU, he's actually working on a huge expansion to his Madagascar area, and he's doing this beautiful covered dome. I highly suggest you guys go check it out. But I really wanted to house these guys first because unfortunately with the ZSU, well, I guess kind of fortunately, because I would be able to actually build for these guys, you do need to show off your animals first and foremost, and that's exactly what I'm doing over here. So Nick is getting a couple of tomato frogs. Yes, that's what they're called. He's getting a couple, and I'm just making this a habitat that has two sections, one side for one pair and the other side for another pair. Unfortunately, these guys are not as available as props yet because we don't actually have them made. They're not out officially with the exhibit prop pack, but once they will be, we'll show them off in this little, in our little ZSU. I'm so excited about that. We're also moving some of our tanks around. That is the good thing about this whole area, is that most of these buildings, not really buildings, but exhibits are able to be moved around and actually placed in different areas. And I think that works so to its advantage because it creates like a much more dynamic space, especially when we go through ZSU and like telling stories with our builds and with our zoos and whatnot. It just turns out so much better. We're also doing a little bit of light motif theming over there. I know I used a red-eyed tree frog right there, but I still think it kind of fit the build pretty well. And we're also doing one last habitat. We're kind of building for our Pacific area. Well, not really Pacific area, but more so Pacific tank. These guys are going to be some marine invertebrates from Australia-ish. We have the Pacific sea urchin, Pacific purple sea urchin. We do a custom sea urchin right over here. And we also have a granulated sea star. I was trying to find an urchin, but unfortunately we don't have any. So I did need to make my own from small pieces. It's not really the best, but it kind of got the job done. I'm pretty happy with it though. He's kind of cute. They're just really tiny little guys. So we do integrate those guys nice and fairly right in here, and we have 3 of them, which I think is pretty cool. So we do kind of throw down some live rock in there just as a way to make it feel a lot more brighter. Live rock is typically found in like marine places. It's a lot more purple and reddish. It kind of has like those kinds of hints of color in there because they are live dynamic organisms. They do have a bunch of like small marine invertebrates and microbacteria kind of growing on them to help promote a healthy aquarium life. Moving on through here though, I really wanted to fix up the kind of entrance and kind of facade of the aquatic house because it's been looking like this for way too long. I really just wanted to make it feel a lot more built up, a lot more beautiful, and a lot more natural. So that's why I'm going through with a little bit of a brief kind of rock wall over here. And you may be saying, Leaf, that looks incredibly copy pasted. Moving on through here though, we do fix that up and we add some of these bigger faux rocks as a way to kind of break up that space and really stop some of the more repeating patterns from happening, just as a way to make it feel a lot more better and make it feel a lot more natural. We also kind of go through with the temperate rocks as well because that is the rock of the map that we are building on, and it fits in very nicely with the biome as well as the rest of the island. And we do kind of color match it a little bit more, just, you know, as a way to keep it, like, you know, feeling a lot more dynamic, but still making it feel a lot more built in with itself. I don't really know what I'm saying anymore, but just trust me when I say I know exactly what I'm doing. But moving on through here, I really just wanted to make sure that we had this nice, beautiful wall complemented by some nice greenery. One of the things I want to have with this area is have it be kind of like, you know, very industrial with the buildings, but also very natural with the surrounding landscapes. You see a lot of this, and you'll see a lot of this come into play as I do more and more builds ever since I did get back from National. I'm going to be integrating a lot of the stuff that I was able to see over there, and I'm also heading to New York this weekend, believe it or not, to go look at some more zoos. It's just, you know, constantly nonstop, so that'll be really fun. But essentially what we're doing over here, we're using those classic arrowwood bushes as a way to make it feel a lot more lush, a lot more built up, and we're using our handy dandy bamboo. In case if you guys don't know this little trick of the trade, the bamboo is a wonderful little resource that a lot of zoos around the world use as a way to get some cheap theming as well as some lush, like, you know, gardens and stuff like that happening. It's a very quickly growing plant, and it works exceptionally well for areas like this. And I also throw a couple trees in here because I feel like, you know, the bamboo's nice, but I still want to integrate some local arbory in here. We're also doing some minor, like, landscaping throughout the entire rest of the park itself. Nothing really too crazy, just more so around the South America section, because I did feel like it needed a little bit more TLC. As time goes on, I do want to get building that reptile house. I do want to get building on, like, the tropical house and whatnot, because while this is entirely on an island, we got to make the most of our space, and the best way to do that is by building those small little houses. But all that being said, we're on to the B-roll today. I do want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. A little bit of a quicker episode, a little bit of a smaller episode, no really heavy hitters as of yet, but once I actually do get going on building our big expansions, you'll see a lot more of that come into play. But all that being said, I'll leave you guys here with the rest of the cinematics. Enjoy all the stuff that we built today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye bye now.